What's good, everybody? I'm Justin Miller, owner of Legends of Athletics, and I have 9 years of experience within the sports performance industry. This question that I'm answering for you is a question that I've gotten, one from Nicholas, who is a new follower of our page on Facebook, and then also I've had a couple of friends that ask me the same thing. So I want to answer this question for you real quick, just to give you some context. Let me simulcast, so I was not recording on my end, but the question is like, what is the difference in exercising as an older adult versus when I was younger, or being in your 30s, being in your 40s, etc. I'm 33, so I can answer this question from the context of a 30-year-old or a 30-plus-year-old, and hopefully that answers, or that gives us more context as far as like in other arenas. So being older and exercising now, I will say that I'm able to hit more of my PRs. So I think that from a strength perspective, firstly, to address that first, I think from a strength perspective that I'm getting stronger actually. Now, when it comes to hitting those PRs as consistently and on a regular basis as I did maybe in my 20s, that's not as prevalent, but I'm able to lift a whole lot more. I'm way stronger now than I was even 3-4 years ago. And that could be more so from like just more knowledge. That could be more so from planning and just structuring my training a whole lot better than I did before. But I will say that I have to prioritize warming up more than I did, as well as like my rest and intensity, and really focus on my recovery between bouts and between sets, and also like days between when I hit the last movement or exercise, etc. Now, if I'm doing the normal, like what they would consider like a bro split, so back day, chest day, leg day, things like that, then it's really the same concept. Focusing a lot on my rest, so making sure I get quality sleep. That doesn't necessarily mean that I get 8 hours sleep. I'm not an 8-hour sleeper. I've never been an 8-hour a night sleeper really for quite some time, and I'm more of a 6 to 7 hours. And then I'm probably 9 out of 10, because I don't have kids right now, I'm probably gonna take a nap throughout the day. So I prioritize my rest a whole lot. And then my intensity. The intensity at which I work out, I listen wholeheartedly. I listen to my body. And so I don't really need the hardcore intensity that I would have gone about in my 20s. I like to more so now connect with my muscles. I like to connect with what I'm trying to aim for within the exercise. So if I'm going for more explosiveness, I want to feel and be more explosive. It's not just about the weight that I'm pulling or pushing, but it's about the feeling and the nature of it, because you're going to deal with injuries. Like, if you work out long enough, you're going to get injured. If you play sports long enough, you're going to get injured. Like right now, my right ankle cannot do a lot of things as explosively as I could a month ago because I injured it somehow. But that's also like going back to me listening to my body. I'm not pressing that. So I'm working through it. As I get better and as we rehab, then I'm able to do more things. But I'm not, for the sake of let's say for the sake of a video, right? I'm not about to go out there and just put myself through the ringer day in and day out just for the sake of making a video, or for the sake of like just gaining more followers and things like that. Because part of me as a sports performance coach, my athletes are number one. But then I also have to have media too, because we're a media company. So we always have something fresh, and we're also always giving y'all information. And then I address like the recovery. Like I said, it's not just like my sleep and stuff, but even prioritizing like active recovery days. Those don't look as cool, but like those are things in my youth or when I was younger that I would I would prioritize, like if I was completely dead, but like, or completely down, but like I now, like, it's something that's necessary. So in a week's time, it's hard to, as in the words of Shannon Sharp, it's hard to summons it up every single day, every single night. So in a week's time, I may be able to do something that's mid to high level intensity 2 to 3 times that week out of a 5 working day week. And then I'm going to take one day where I'm just going to do conditioning and active recovery. And one day where I'm going to do like a light, low intensity style of training and recover, because that's just necessary. And so again, that's something in my 30s. Like, you have to put that in your head. Like, you're not as young, and that's not saying that being older is bad, or that's not saying that like what you're doing is bad, but you have to know when to dial it up and tone it down. Like, it's gonna be moments where you just go in there and ratchet it up. Just like, man, I say like the last 2 sessions I've had where I was bench pressing, I felt great, and I was like, well, man, I'm about to go for it, go for gold. And so I put 315 on there and did 2 to 3 reps every time. First time I did two. The last time I did it, I did 3 reps, and that's just, again, days where I feel good. And then, like I said, prioritizing warming up. When I was in my 20s, I never warmed up. I would come in the gym, and just go and do my thing. I rarely ever warmed up. I would do a warm up set, but I didn't go through like my mobility. I didn't go through like stretching or dynamic warm ups or anything like that. It was just straight up come in there, cut dry, do my thing, and leave. And so that's something that's a lot more important now too, because you can just tell the difference. Like, at 33, if I don't warm up, like, I can tell when I go through exercises, it's literally gonna take, if I do 5 movements, it's gonna take me up until movement 4 or 5 where I feel decently warm. And so that's wasting 3 movements before that. And that's wasting somewhere between, I want to say 4, 8, 12. So somewhere between, we'll say 3, 6, 9. So somewhere between 9 to 12 sets, or 9 to, like, it depends on if you're doing 4 or 5 sets. Let's say you do 5 sets. So that's going to be 5, 10, 15. So that's going to be 9 to 15 sets that I'm just blowing through, because I'm not either, I don't have the mobility to get down to it. I'm not warm, so I can really get the benefits of what I'm doing. And it's just wasting time. So those are the biggest things with working out in my 30s. Remove the standard of what you had when you were very young. Like, it's kind of crazy to say, like, I want to be what I was when I was 15. Like, never happen again. I want to be what I was when I was 25. Like, appreciate where you are today and play it smarter. So I hope this answers the question. Anyway, till next time, y'all, stay up, stay active, do your thing, and be legendary.